Welcome back to the table. Today we have a moleskin watercolor sketchbook and a few objects like these artificial flowers, a bunch of artificial leaves. These are the exact same leafy things I used for the sketchbook retreat. I'll show you in the book quickly. Here are some of the things we did for the sketchbook retreat. The Sketchbook Retreat is still available and still available for free. So go and check that out when you have time. So today we are going to focus with a little bit of play in our sketchbook pages. Just a little bit of creative play and an outlet to have some fun. It's going to be a rediscovery of a few moments of peace just for yourself. So like I said, the watercolor sketchbook and a few objects, you can bring them out from the garden or from the flower vase or anywhere, anything really that you want to practice. I prefer flowers, of course, but you can even use objects like pins. A pen or anything that can cast a shadow will do. So today we are going to outline some of our shadows with a little bit of water and then dunk in some of our colors. This is going to be a little bit of creative fun and I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. So what I've got here is just a glass of water. And of course the first source of water is inside the water brush. It acts as a constant moisture source, which just makes this process so much easier. It also helps you to easily activate your paint pigments and just makes the whole process so much more streamlined. Let's choose a few colors you'd like to work with. I'll use this cadmium red. It's like a deep orange. I want to use some of this cobalt blue, but I will mix in a little bit of green just to bring in that natural element. But I want the green to be cool and natural. And of course, the ever hard-working studio muse has just made her appearance. Hard at work as always. And trying to quench her thirst by stealing sips of my water. So I'll just scoot her out of the way, otherwise she'll be lying on top of my sketchbook in a minute or two. And now she's staring at the candle. Sometimes I wonder what she's thinking. So okay, let's get back to this. So what I'm thinking is using the colors as they appear on this bunch of leaves, but bringing in something a little darker. And of course, you know I love indigo, so indigo will be my third color option. And of course, we all know when you add a little bit of water to watercolor, it goes lighter or pastel. So you don't really need white. Your paper and water combined allows the light to bounce through the pigment and give you those pastel tones. Now the palette I'm using is one I put together a while ago, and it's just some of the colors I prefer using on a regular basis. So I'll rinse this off properly as I'm going to scoop the next color. I don't want cross-contamination here. Scrubbing at this indigo and depositing some of the colors on the side so that I do have those three options to play with. You can of course put together any one you like or use a standard version. So now that our colors are mixed up, we have our subject and our sketchbooks are ready. Let's get started. You will of course need a light source that can cast a proper shadow. I regularly just use a lamp and move it about on my desk until I can see the shadows I prefer. Now, this will be different for everybody because your area or the space you're working in will be different than mine, and your light source will also be different. But the best way I have found for this to work is with a desk lamp or a bedside lamp. Try out yours and try out the variations to see what throws down the best shadow for you. Generally speaking, you'll have a better shadow when the light is closer to the object. So as I play around with different light features in my studio, you can also adjust your area and see what works for you. As I'm reaching over for the desk lamp, you can already see the shadows move on the page. And you'll also experience this playful way of discovering the shapes and the shadows. This makes it really easy to even paint difficult subjects or intricate subjects. And that is why this technique is such a wonderful way to learn to play in your sketchbooks. So let's isolate one of these leafy things and see how the shadows fall on the sketchbook. So what we are going to do here is grab a little bit of water and put down water on the shadow areas, creating water puddles as a matter. Creating those water puddles where we'll be dipping the paint into. It doesn't have to be precise, as long as you roughly follow along on the shadows. You'll see the water glistening on the page as you go. You can either push out water from the water brush or collect the water from the container. Make sure these puddles are nice and juicy, and then start adding your colors, barely touching to the water surface and allowing the paint to spread on its own. There are no hard or fast rules here, as long as you start to immerse yourself in the process and have some creative, playful fun. At any point, you can grab that second or third color and also just tip it in to the puddle area. It can touch previous colors, it can be on its own, or it can melt in together and play together. This is, of course, the perfect time for you to play around and experiment with colors. And it's just a sketchbook page, and you can fill the whole page with different color variations and have a relaxing time while you discover, learn, and relax. Those little pops of orange will just finish off this leaf as I move on to the next one. You'll see that I don't fiddle with these little objects. I allow the paint to just play with the water and do what it needs to do. The secret behind watercolor is just letting it flow where it needs to go. The minute you start tampering, pushing, and forcing it in a direction is the minute your watercolors don't come out natural. You'll often hear people talk about overworked paintings, and that is because they kept on prodding at the piece with a brush. So once your colors lay down, just let that piece dry and leave it alone. Move on to the next one and enjoy the process. It's all about the process. You don't have to force anything, and you certainly don't have to force this type of paint medium. Watercolor creates its own magic. You just have to allow that to happen. Now, just before I move on to the next leaf, I want you to remember that the Sketchbook Retreat is always available for you. The Sketchbook Blossoms workshop is there to help you fill pages and pages of flowers in a sketchbook, and the Sketchbook Lovers membership will be opening in a few weeks' time to take in new members. And in case you didn't know, I also specialize in wallpaper design, and any of those you can find in the links below this video. So let's get back to creating this page, and I'll leave you with some music and time to explore on your own. And remember, I do regular blog posts that most often accompany my videos and other things I post online, so that you can read about the process and download the free art prints or PDFs or whatever I have available at the time. And it's mostly related to the subject of the week or the topic of the Sketchbook Lovers membership. So if you've been following along, you'll know exactly what's going on at Anso Designs. So here we go with a little bit of music and time for you to create your own version. Enjoy the process. I'll see you in the end. had some creative fun today, and thank you for joining me. Have a good day. See you soon.